everyone, welcome back to my channel. We are continuing another video in my teacher interview question and answers series. This is video number 3 in the series. If you haven't seen the previous 2, I suggest you go ahead and click on this link right up here, and that will make sure that you start the playlist right at question number 1. Each video is going to have its own question, so you want to make sure that you are following them in order so that you know which ones pick up after the other. So for this question, they're going to ask you about your teaching philosophy. They're going to say, what is your teaching philosophy and what can you tell us about it? So this question goes in line with the previous question. The previous question wanted to know why you wanted to work at that school. Well, all the research that you did for that question is actually going to come up in this answer as well. So this one is your teaching philosophy, but you're actually going to play off of the school's philosophy and tie them together. So like I said in the previous video, once you get an idea of what school you will be interviewing for, you want to do as much research as you possibly can on that school. The first thing you want to look for is the school's philosophy. What is their philosophy? What do they want to get out of their teaching? What do they want their students to get out of the time spent there? A lot of the times the teaching philosophies at schools will have to do with preparing students for college and career. And that's a pretty simple one. It tends to be similar for a lot of different schools, and it makes it a lot easier for you to answer this question. So first, think about what their school philosophy is, and then tie in your own teaching strategies, teaching methods, and just your overall idea of what you should be preparing your students for as well. As we are becoming a more technologically advanced country, and I guess a technologically advanced world, we want to focus on 21st century learning skills. We are now teaching in the 21st century, so there are actually 4 C's that you want to focus on. The first one is communication, you have collaboration, you have creativity, and you have critical thinking. You want to focus on all 4 of those. Those are 4 keywords that you definitely want to say in your interview. So tell them that your teaching philosophy focuses around the idea of preparing students for college and for their careers while focusing on 21st century skills. And then this is where you would say those 4 keywords. That would include creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. In addition to 21st century learning, there's a big heavy focus on technology. So tell them that you like to use technology in your classroom as more of a tool, since there's a lot of technology that they will be using in their careers. And you also want to tell them how you like to make learning fun. You want to make sure that they know that whatever you're teaching is going to be fun and engaging, because if you can't engage the students in your lessons, it's going to be really hard for them to pass your class and be successful. So you definitely want to mention that you like to make learning fun, you like to create experiences in your classroom, and you like to create lifelong learners in your students. A lot of the times when people graduate high school, they're kind of done with school and they don't want to go on to college, they just want to get a job and make money. But the most important thing that you want to instill in your students is to become lifelong learners. If the learning stops after high school, then unfortunately life is going to be a whole lot harder for that student. So if you're able to make learning fun and create experiences in your classroom, you're going to get students to actually look for more learning opportunities and become even more successful in their futures. A lot of people also like to talk about creating good citizens in their classroom by focusing on empathy and sympathy and different people's perspectives and morals. And if you want to say something like that, you definitely should. Not everyone likes to go down that road because it really doesn't focus on the data and it doesn't focus on what the schools are looking for on paper. Yes, you want to create amazing citizens. You want to make sure that everyone's nice and everyone's kind and everyone's taking care of each other, but at the same time, if you are applying for a job as a teacher, you want to make sure that you tell them about your data-driven skills that you will bring to the table. Personally, I think it's really important to say, I always say it whenever I have an interview, so if you want to throw that in, go ahead and throw that in, but just make sure you word it correctly. Let them know that not only are you providing an accommodating environment, but you're also providing a challenging environment. It is your goal to make sure that you are challenging your students. If students aren't being challenged enough, unfortunately their learning isn't quite as optimal as it should be, and they should be able to fight through those challenges to become more successful learners. Are they problem solving? Are they critically thinking? Are they collaborating? What are they doing in that classroom to actually elevate their learning and elevate their skills? The next thing you want to bring up in your answer is the focus on equity and the promotion of diversity. I know that this is actually going to be a specific question that they want to know more about, but I do want to make sure that you guys are answering this in your philosophy as well. Are you focusing on equity and making sure everything is accessible to every single student despite their disabilities? And you want to make sure that you are promoting diversity. How are you promoting diversity in your classroom? That's going to actually be a question that we're going to get into later, but for this one, you want to make sure that you are mentioning it. You don't have to go into detail just yet, but I do want to make sure that you are mentioning that you have a focus on equity and promoting diversity. Overall, this question is just asking you, how are you preparing your students for their future successes? And what are your goals in doing so? At the end of your answer, you want to make sure that you tie right back into the school's philosophy. So you want to make sure that you say something something along the lines of. And I noticed that my teaching philosophy actually goes in line with your school's philosophy, so I think that's really cool. Always mention how it connects right back to their school. How are you going to be a perfect fit for this school? Well, my teaching philosophy is this, and your school philosophy is this, so I think that we would be a great match. You always want to make sure that things are matching up. Don't tell them that you think it's going to be a great match at the end of every single answer, but you want to make sure that everything is lining right back up and coming full circle. If they're going to ask you a question about something that pertains to the school, you want to make sure that they know how you are going to be a good fit. If you're the type of person who prefers answers to be written out or typed up, I am going to send you down to my down bar. I have a link in there where I typed up all of the questions and answers that I'm going to be doing in this series, and I might actually be doing some more as you guys send me some more questions. So if you want a printed copy of this, go ahead and check the down bar. I did list one in my Etsy shop, and you can purchase your own copy of all of the questions and answers before the videos even come out. So if you are interested, go ahead and check that out. And if there's any questions that you want me to answer, any questions that you were asked and you may have fumbled on, go ahead and let me know in the comment section, and I'll make a specific video for that question to help you out on that one too. If this video helped you out at all, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section. But if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video, as I am going to be continuing to post interview question and answers for you in this series. So make sure you like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi everyone. Before I ended this video, I wanted to make sure that I popped in here and gave you a little bit of information as to what's going on with this series. So I am creating a lot of different videos for questions that I've been asked in interviews myself, and then I give you answers for them. But I have a video that covers a lot more altogether. If you're interested in that video, you can check it out in the down bar, and I'll also link it at the end of this video as well. There will be a thumbnail at the end, and you can click on it. It's my ultimate teacher interview question and answer video. I've gotten over 300,000 views on it, and so many, like thousands of comments saying that it helped you get your jobs. So that's why I wanted to do this series right here, to go in individually in case there were individual questions that you were looking for answers to. One thing I do want to mention is that I'm getting a lot of teachers send me messages about different questions that they may have stumbled on and questions that they want answered that I haven't quite gotten to yet, but don't worry, I'm definitely getting to those. So this series is going to continue for quite some time, and if they do help you, please make sure you like them. And again, if you have any other questions you want me to answer, go ahead and write them down in the comment section or send me a message, or even on the other video, you can go ahead and type those questions out as well. I do read every single comment because I have them approved before I post them, so I make sure that whenever you guys do ask questions that you want me to answer, I'm adding those to my list. So don't worry, I will definitely get to yours. But like I said, if you are interested in getting a copy of everything written out instead, then you can go ahead and go to my Etsy shop. It's going to be linked in the down bar, and you can check that out right there. That's just for people who prefer to read it, or if you are still learning English, which I know a lot of people who watch my videos are from other countries, then this might help you as well, because then listening to my voice might be a little bit harder to pick up on. I know I get a lot that I actually talk pretty fast, which I don't really notice because I'm so accustomed to the language. But if you prefer a written copy so that you can copy and paste into Google Translate, or if you just want to have them as notes, you can definitely check that out in my Etsy shop. Again, it's going to be linked in the down bar. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Then I'll go ahead and answer those questions in this series as well. And I'm also working on a part 2 of that little document in my Etsy shop. So as I get more and more questions, I'm answering them first on that document. So I'm actually working on a part 2. So the more questions you shoot at me, the more I can answer and put into those documents. So I am working on part 2, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please make sure you like this video, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
You and I till the end, don't need to breathe.